It's my one life, and I give it everything I got. I am music. I am sports. I am the culture. The jury has reached a verdict from Minneapolis. Breaking news. Derek Chauvin has been found guilty on second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter on the May 25th, 2020 killing of an unarmed black man in George Floyd. Derek Chauvin will likely never take a step from outside of those prison walls. For 9 minutes and 29 seconds, a former police officer kept his knee on the neck of an unarmed man. For 3 minutes and 27 seconds, Derek Chauvin's knee was on the neck of George Floyd after he had taken his last breath. I have to be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. As happy as I am that justice has been served for the family of George Floyd, I look at this moment, which will go down as a historic one in American history, as bittersweet. In my world, it's easy to not stand next to Derek Chauvin. He lacked remorse. He didn't even want to speak on his own behalf at his trial. And we watched him kill George Floyd on camera. If I'm a police officer, it's easy for me to not stand next to that. If I'm racist, it's easy for me to not get next to that. To me, this was the bare minimum America could do for the family of George Floyd. If America had not gotten this one right, honest to God truth, I don't know what would have happened next. I have to think about other families. For example, recently, Dante Wright was killed in Minneapolis by a police officer who claims she accidentally grabbed her gun instead of her taser. Botham Jane, who was killed inside of his apartment by a police officer who claimed she went into the wrong unit. Even non-police related shootings for unarmed black men, like Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia, who's still seeking justice. Trayvon Martin in Florida, who never got justice. Derek Chauvin was the easy one. No one's going to stand next to what he did. No police officer, no unit, no racist is getting next to that one publicly. I'm so happy that George Floyd's family got the justice that they desperately deserved. It took everything, though. In the year in which a coronavirus pandemic took place, it took protest in every state in this country. Even other countries participated. This had to become the biggest news story in the world in a year in which a virus was killing hundreds of thousands of people, for us to get justice for a murder we all watched on camera. You see, when America is making real progress, this won't be the biggest story of the year. Today should be a footnote in this story. Justice should be expected. It shouldn't be a shock to the people that justice was served. You shouldn't have had that feeling in your stomach wherever you were listening to the verdict in the Derek Chauvin George Floyd case.
Today history was made. We are finally starting to, as a country, live up to the promise of equal justice under the law for all people. And we don't take this lightly. It was sacrificial blood that made this moment possible for history in America. So let us all rejoice for this moment, but know that we still have work to do. The George Floyd Justice and Policing Accountability Act must be passed so we can get justice for all our brothers and sisters, and we can prevent some of these unjustifiable killings by the people who are supposed to protect and serve us. We now go to Dante Wright. We go back to Breonna Taylor. We go to Pamela Turner. We go to Anthony McClain. We go to Jacob Blake Jr. We go to Rayshard Brooks. We go back to Eric Gardner. We go to all those brothers and sisters who we saw with our own eyes be killed unjustly. We now have a precedent in George Perry Floyd Jr. from CUNY Homes, Houston, Texas, 3rd Ward. Black people represent. Let's stand up for each other. Let's stand up for justice.
Thank you.
Catch 4 new episodes of Ferro's music-based platform every day only on YouTube at It's Mr. Taliaferro. You can also find clips, updates, giveaways, and more on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, also at It's Mr. Taliaferro. For all basketball fans, make sure you tune in to Ferro's daily highlights, reports, and commentary on YouTube at Hoops Ferro, and even more updates on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Hoops Ferro as well.